How the special teams is doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it's a unique year in the sense that it seems like every year that we do this, we actually kind of have to rebuild the groups and find new players and all the new positions and evaluate everybody and build the kickers, build the punters. And you find yourself in this unique situation this year where we got a lot of guys coming back that played young, and so we love that part of it, right? And so now we're just trying to kind of evolve their game, get them to think, from 101 level now to 201 level, and see if we can increase our productivity. Inevitably, there's going to be guys that were big contributors for us a year ago. 4 core starter guys that we're probably going to have to taper off a little bit because their roles on offense or defense has increased. And then you're constantly in the search for those new 4 core guys that didn't play much last year, or the new guy that came in, and seeing what positions we can put them in to help our team. And so, I love that process. That's what really spring is the kind of the starting blocks for that. Really enjoy that piece of the process of my job. Okay, and getting to know these kids that are different, new. Some of the guys that I didn't depend on last year, I got to learn to trust this year. The whole process of successes and setbacks through drills and combatives throughout the spring is awesome, man. I love it. And you get to work with these specialists that are coming back. I mean, this is unique also. Usually it's a 2-year guy, play him 2 years, and he's out the door. And we've got the luxury of not only having Seamus for 2 years and beyond, but also Seth has been in this program developing for 2 years, had his breakout year last year, and we've got him back for another 3. So, and Jacob Bates was a new addition. We've got him back. So you got a lot of positivity coming back, and I like that. That's unique to me. Usually I'm trying to replace those guys.
Talk a little bit about the return game that you got to replace Jeremiah Adele and punt returns, and he was such a big part of the success last year.
Yeah, and Jay is a good player, man, and he did a great job for us, man. Really came on towards the end of the year, really. But, we've got some guys that we feel like can help us in that realm. To be honest with you, we didn't even think he was going to be our starting punt returner, okay? Because we thought in evaluations that DeJordan Mask had kind of outperformed him up to that point. And when the workload was a little bit too much for DeJordan, we leaned on Haydel, and he really took off. And so we're kind of looking at that going, all right. So we developed him at that point. He took off. Obviously, his athletic ability was incredible and did a great job for us. But is there someone in our program that's just like that? Can we get that same thing going with somebody else? And there's a couple guys out there that we're developing, and I like what Coach Abraham's doing with those returners right now, putting them through a lot of fundamentals, and then his progression is taking them to live work, which is what we did today in evaluating. So haven't watched the tape, but guys like DeJordan Mask, back, love him. Okay, he can do some things with the ball. Caleb Twyford is very dynamic with the ball. We've got TJ Graham, who's been a good player for us. We've looked at a couple other guys. So right now it's fun, and we're just trying to find that guy. Kickoffs are easy, in my opinion. Punt return, that's the skill. That's the real stuff.
Tell us, you're going into year 3 with Seamus as your punter. How much more comfortable are you with him now that you've had him for 2 seasons?
You want to, hey Seamus, you want to answer that one? Me and Seamus have a unique relationship. I don't mess with the kickers much, but me and Seamus have a great relationship, and I would say it's one-sided at best, probably. But it's very, it's very encouraging to have him back and to keep developing something. I love putting my time into something over time. So a freshman becoming a senior, and that's rare. You don't get that very often. And where Seamus has come from to where he's at right now, I'm ecstatic, right? But we're not gonna rest on that. And I push Seamus probably harder than any other specialist, just because I think he can handle it. And I can be impatient. I've got a personality that is impatient. I want him to be perfect right now, and we all know it takes time. But I enjoy working with Seamus every day, even though he might not think I do.
You mentioned trying to take the special teams from 101 to 201. What are some of the things that you think can raise the special teams a level?
When I say that, I think in terms of if I have a freshman and he hasn't been in the program very long, you have to think of like, okay, what is the quickest way to get this information to application? What's the quickest way to get this kid to understand his role, right? And a lot of that time, you just don't talk about much detail. You just go, okay, you're here, this is your stance, this is your alignment, that's what you're trying to get to, that's your objective. And you really don't say anything else, right? But now you start to have these guys that are back and they're almost bored sitting in this room with us, right? Because they've heard the same thing for 2 years. And so now you go into a little bit deeper level of technique or detail or concept, like our guys actually understanding what the general objective is in the 5 punting zones that we have, right? If I, as a freshman, I'm not even talking to him about the punting zones. I don't want him to know. I want him to go get return, you know? But now you got guys that have been here and you say, all right, look, when we're backed up, this is our thought process. When the open field, this is our process. When we're 60-40, this is our process. When it's cloudy, this is our process. And then when it's a mortar punt situation, this is our thought process. And they start understanding not only their role, but also the overall objective. And that's when I think you can see some really good football. But we don't start like that, no.
Right. You guys had one of the better recent rushing seasons here last year. Tell us where you
Did
feel
we?
like.
That's good.
Yeah, I think it was the best since 2014, Coach.
Really?
What do you feel like you guys can improve on in the running game heading into this season?
It's a lot of the same we were just talking about with special teams, because now, if you think about it, we've had those backs for, that was last season, they were all here kind of new guys, but now we got them this season. The offense is evolving, but it's not changing that much, and so their understanding of it is better. Like, they're pretty good in protection right now, like from understand who they have and how to work that. They're getting better and not just running the football, but okay, I'm going this direction, and I'll bet you that if I press this thing long enough, I can get the backer to get over the top and make this an even bigger run. Stuff like that. It's a lot of the same. It's just evolving as a program, evolving. You know what Coach Spavital preaches every day, man. Just 1% better at anything. And the running backs are no different than anybody else on the team. They're just evolving because they've been here. And that's exciting. You know, you like putting your time into it. And like I said, you like talking about the 201 stuff and maybe the 301 stuff, right? It's awesome. And then watching their physical development has been good. I mean, Calvin Hill's put on like 45 pounds. I mean, he used to be 145 pounds when he got here, and I think he's up to like 185. You know, so yeah, it's fun. This is the stuff we like to do.
Well, how exciting is it to know that you've got Calvin and Brock and Jamil here for at least another 3 or 4 years?
It's awesome. I mean, where you can go from that, I don't know. We just take it a day at a time around here, right? We don't think about the future too much. We kind of stay in the present. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, right? You know, what they could possibly achieve. But we've got to put all that to the side. We've got to focus on next day, this year, what we're going to do, and not worry about the future too much, okay? Because none of that's guaranteed. We got to take advantage of what we got in front of us and stay present with this process.
Something Coach Spavital mentioned was that he is kind of experimenting using tight ends more in the running game. How much more do you think that could open up for you guys in the backfield?
I think it's awesome. I think anytime you can be in what we call 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends, 12, you're adding gaps. You know, and those big guys, hybrids, they're not O-linemen, they're not receivers, they're kind of in between. And Coach Hamilton has done a great job. And those guys, you talk about another group that's kind of evolving. You know, those guys, you know, they probably put on more weight than anybody. I mean, they're sitting 250, 260 across the board. And so you give the ability to put extra gaps on the field for the run game. The defense has to fit, and they can be pass threats. I mean, that's good stuff. Good tight ends make a lot of good things go. So we're excited. Running backs, love to see the tight ends out there.
I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
All good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Love you guys. Thank you.